So, Dominic, you were talking about how a lot of people have a struggle of finishing things. Like they have a hard time with finishing projects. Why is that?
Yeah, it's interesting to see how there's certain patterns that show up. There's people that have fear patterns, people that have rage pattern, anxiety pattern, and victim pattern, and how they draw those events in their life to play those out. There's also a pattern that people have that don't finish anything. I remember I was watching a golf game a while ago, and this guy was just beating everybody in golf, and he was several strokes ahead. I mean, it looked like he was a shoe in the wind. There was no way he couldn't win the thing. And I think he was on the third to last hole, and the golfer could not get the ball in the hole no matter what. The second hole, same thing. He ended up not winning. He came in second or third because it took him more strokes to get the last 3 holes than it did the previous, however many there were, 15 holes. Yeah. So what I've seen with that is people that have the unfinished projects in the garage. Their backyard has all the unfinished projects. Their house is an unfinished project. That they have things that they've started but didn't finish. That there's a physiological pattern, right? Because whatever is playing out outward is an outward projection of what's going on inside. Yeah. Those people typically have really stiff spines. The stiffer the person's spine is, the more they have a challenge with stage 6, stage 7 consciousness exercises are undeveloped. Yeah. Excuse me. You can edit out the burp if you want. Okay. And people that have a hard time finishing projects, like they just get to the end and it's just like it's like an anxiety to finish. They just don't want to finish. They have a lot of structural rigidity of their spine. Yeah. And as I work with them with the stage 6 consciousness exercise and stage 7 conscious exercise, which is about resolving, they now follow through with their projects. They now finish the project that they've had in the garage for the last 15 years. That car that they started to restore and got 2/3 of the way into it, and then for the last 15 years it's been sitting. That dream that they had of the sailboat, and they had it where they did this and this, but now they're just waiting to do this last little bit, and it's just been sitting there and they haven't finished. Yeah. That project in the garage, the project in the backyard, the hobby, whatever it is, they just don't seem to finish. Yeah. Structural rigidity, and there's a conscious exercises that we do that satiates that. And not only is that not about finishing those hobbies or those projects, but it's also about finishing in relationship. It's about resolution, finishing things, finish the discussion, finish whatever the weirdness is, just finishing everything in general. That muscle, so to speak, is undeveloped.
Like an end to something, they don't like that.
Whatever it is, there's a start and you finish it, but they just have some kind of internal resistance.
I can see the fear of that, though. I can see why they don't want to finish, because it's like, okay, now I'm done. Now what? It's like on to the next thing, and maybe they're in fear.
So they can come up with many intellectual excuses or reasons for it. Yeah. But what I see is the more I work with them in the stage 6 and 7 consciousness exercises, the more they develop that ability to resolve within themselves, the more they resolve in their life. Relationships, conversations, business deals, contracts, hobbies, projects in the garage, whatever it is. However you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah. It must take a toll on them as well.
Well, it's something that's unfinished. It's like having a window open on the computer. There's a part of you that's on that so that you're not totally congruent with whatever endeavor you're trying to do now, because there's all these other tabs that are open. So they call in basketball, what is it, being in the zone, right? Yeah. When everything is just flowing, you can't throw the shot wrong, everything goes in, the passes are right on, the ball goes in. When you're in that zone, everything is effortless. Yeah. If you have a challenge with the stage 6 and stage 7 consciousness exercises, those need to be developed. Then being in the zone isn't as readily available to you, because your consciousness is consistent with having these tabs open, all these unfinished projects. Yeah. So it affects everything. So the more we can get into the 6 and 7, have resolution, the more that effortless, unconscious, effortless flow seems to be more and more available.